realizing that the horse was in front of me in the saliva sample that I had, I wanted to first see, usually I first see if it does have cancer or not. So I know what kind of a case I'm working on. And I use as a criterion whether that animal is making orthophosphatyrosine. That's what OPT means. Now that was discovered around 1986 to be present in all, this comes from clinical science, that item, orthophosphatyrosine, is present because that is the item that makes everything multiply. Everything starts dividing. And it is not, however, useful for clinical science because the blood clears it out of itself right away. So if you can't find something in blood, then the doctor can't use a blood test to figure out whether there's cancer or not. Not that they can use other things, but it did not become anything except a research item. But of course, with the advantage of such technology, it was very easy to use blood or saliva or whatever I wanted to use. Because when you use saliva, it has within it all the frequencies of the rest of the body in it. So if I want to study the liver of that animal, I only need a saliva sample. And I can dial up the liver, because remember, this is part of a radio circuit. It has certain features that are unique to radio, and I can use those. So just like frequencies can be held on a disc, sound and so on, if you only know how to play it and have the right technology for it, you can look for the frequencies of your organs or anybody else's in a saliva sample. So you can get testing your toes or your hair or the liver, whatever you want to test. So this was a saliva sample that I started with, and then I'm going to go and search for the other things that are typical of a cancer victim. Yes. I think that I'm going to be standing in front of that fairly soon, and meanwhile, I want to make sure that you know how I am studying the horse. I think the horse might have been in Florida. And it isn't necessary to have the horse here at all. You can find the problems and solve the problems from far away. Once I found the OPT positive, you might see P for positive and N for negative, then I already know what else to search for, and I know that there will be organs that have the OPT, and I will want to find out which organs have the OPT. For the horse, I didn't go about it that way because I was most curious to see whether they had also the same carcinogen as the others. And this is a way that I have of finding out whether all of us animals are similar in some respect. So I wanted to know whether the different causes of cancer, whether they also had the same fluke, for instance, the human intestinal fluke, whether they had the same cause for it, namely polonium and other things. And so that was my intent. you kill one of these flukes, something eats it. If it's in the intestinal tract, you would never notice that because it just passes out. But in cancer, the problem isn't the intestinal tract necessarily. It's a muscle or bone or whatever it is. And that is where the fluke resides. And so if you kill it there, what's it to do? It can't leave, it can't be digested. Normally, we make digestive juices that travel all over the body. And they digest little bits and pieces. But one of the first things that happens to a cancerous horse is that bacteria are in the pancreas. The bacteria are salmonellas. And when they get into the pancreas can't make its digestive juices, which are trypsin, chymotrypsin, and the stomach making pepsin. And once you don't have an adequate digestive juice, it doesn't roam the body and digest every little bit of dead matter that is supposed to be digested. And that is why the digestive enzyme treatment is so effective. You know, there are cancer treatments based on digestive enzymes, and you have to take a handful. Of course, if you never remove the cause, then the causes of the cancer for each animal continues, even though you are treating it, and maybe treating it faster than you are causing it, and it looks like you're being successful. But it always comes back, showing that you weren't successful. It's just that you were very good at keeping it down. But my intention was to find the actual cause and remove the cause, and I'm here today because we can remove this thing. And if this is the cause of the cancer, then when you remove it, there is no more cancer. Now, that's theoretical, but that is what, you have to have a theory before you go after and do an experiment. So I immediately experimented with that theory, thinking that since these four things attached to each other in a row are required for all the mutations necessary for cancer, that if you could just break that up, it would no longer be able to do that, and therefore I would not be able to see any OPT anywhere in the animal, and that is what happened. So that's what I'm here to tell you today, that you can wash this out of your body with water. It seems very simple. Theoretically it is, but you still have to do the hard work. You need to do, for the horse, the equivalent of 36 hot baths. Okay, am I holding this all right? I test for salmonella first because that tells me whether the pancreas is damaged, and of course it is. Then I test for flu because very many animals with cancer have a strong enough body to be killing the flukes on their own. Certainly when the animal is young and not very, or at least not very old, you can kill these parasites yourself. You have the correct chemicals in you. I call them weapons in the book, in my books. You have a weapon called benzoquinone and rhodizonic acid and quite a few more, which you produce as a youngster and a healthy middle-aged person. But if you are overwhelmed, of course, it isn't enough. Still, you can tell that the body was doing it, killing it, when you see flu and salmonella together. So that's the clue that your body is still quite healthy. And this horse was. So there I'm telling this person that when you have flu and salmonella together, it is called detox syndrome, or detox symptoms. You're familiar with detox. That's what it consists of. And it means that the body is already able and in the middle of killing as fast as it can. It's just, as you know, never going to catch up. And we also have to be aware that you can't be killing this parasite so fast that the detox symptoms are going to kill it. You have to be able to keep the flu and salmonella down low enough to where the animal can manage. Will continue to eat, doesn't get too high a fever, and so on. So it's a useful thing. That's why I start right out with it.